Hello everyone, it's Emma Langton here, hypnotherapist and coach in York. I'm just popping on this morning to talk to you a little bit about change. It's something that comes up quite a lot with the people that I work with, so I thought it was a good thing to come and talk to you about right now. I did a little Facebook Live last week and the sound had a bit of a problem. But what I was talking about there briefly was about the changes that I'm beginning to make in my business and the plans that I'm making for now through to sort of Christmas time. So, and I said briefly that it was a really, really good time for you to think about some of the changes that you might want to make. So I thought I'd come on and talk a little bit more about changes right now. So, in case you don't know me, I'm a hypnotherapist and coach, and I work mainly with people with stress and anxiety in helping with fears and phobias as well, so that you can feel like you take back control of your life and you can feel much more able to cope in your busy life. So, changes. Do you think that you can't do any changes? It's something that comes up a lot and something that I hear from an awful lot of people, that I'm not very good with change. Or they go, oh no, my mum says I can't do change very well. Or so-and-so says I can't do change very well. Well, let me tell you, the first thing is that actually you can do change. And you probably, at least I hope, you do change an awful lot. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about that language that you're using where then you are saying that you can't do change. And then I'm going to just give you a few tips about how you can incorporate change in your life. So, you think you can't do change. Just take a little look down at yourself and see the clothes that you're wearing. See the socks that you've got on your feet if you've put socks on. It is a little bit of time for socks now because it's getting a little bit chilly out there. You change every single day. You change the clothes that you wear. You change your socks, your underwear, I hope. You change the food that you eat. You change hairstyles every so often, usually. You make an awful lot of changes every day in your daily life. And you do it without even thinking about it. You do it because it's just something that you think that you've always done. You change your shoes. You do all sorts of different changes. Okay? Think about it for a moment. Give yourself a little bit of time and just think about the things that you change. You don't wear the same top every day. You don't have exactly the same meals every single day. You might have lots of similar breakfast or similar-ish, but then you don't eat the same evening meal. Some people have exactly the same sandwich every day. My dad used to. But you probably have a variation through even some of your meals. So you do change. And you do it without even noticing. And that's the thing about change, is that the way for it to be a success is for it to be incorporated into your life little and often. Okay. When you are saying to yourself, I can't do change, so-and-so says I can't do change, you are actually repeating and reinforcing that message to yourself that you can't do change. Didn't think about that, did you? So when you are saying I can't do change, you're absolutely right. And whatever you say and whatever you think and whatever you believe is absolutely what will happen. Because you are reinforcing it again and again, day after day, inside your mind and even out loud, you're reinforcing that you cannot do change. The simplest thing that you can do here is to go, actually, yeah, I can do change. I might not like change. And maybe I'd rather not, thank you, change my job, do this big company reorganisation structure. Maybe I'd rather not change my daughter's school or whatever it is. But actually, you can do change. And when you think about, yes, you can do change, and when you think about, it may be a little bit difficult, it's going to be new, it may be hard for me to get my head round, but actually I can do change. then you'll be surprised just how much easier it seems and it feels for you. And if there are any big feelings coming up when you're thinking about that change that you need to do, whatever it is, just notice that feeling and just pay a little bit of attention to it and wonder what it is about. But watch the mindset, watch the way that you are talking to yourself and about yourself. And you'll be able to think about these things a little bit more easily and a little bit better. Okay. So, how can you do change? Well, sometimes change just gets kind of flung upon us. And sometimes it is about something that we can do and that we can have a lot more control over, and we can do it in the way that we would want to do it. So just be mindful of that as well. You know, the seasons kind of, well, not quite get flung upon us. I mean, we do know they come in every single year and every time of the year as well. But you know, sometimes this week for me, it just seems to have suddenly got cold. I don't know if it's the wind, but that it feels like it's been a bit flung upon me. I went out in just my waterproof coat to walk the dog this morning, and it kind of felt like it would have been a bit sudden. So yeah, sometimes things can get a bit flung upon us. But I came home and I got my jumper out, you know, and I got my cardi out, and you can adapt to that, and you can do change with that, and that is some of the things that you do in your ordinary everyday life that you do without realising and without thinking about. You just get your cardis and your jumpers and your socks and your boots or your wellies or whatever it is, and you change that wardrobe and you adjust accordingly. So you can make these changes, and sometimes we make them and it's just little and often. So it starts, if we're thinking about the weather and the temperature and things like that, it starts with just a cardi going on. Then it starts with the duvet gets a bit thicker, and then if you're like me, you've got hot water bottle and blankets and all sorts of things coming out. But you are doing those changes kind of little and often. So any other change that you want to make in your life, do it that way. Do it little and often. So you start with adding a little bit more into your life and a little bit more into your life, and then change a little bit here and you change a little bit there. If it's a kind of bigger change that's getting flung upon you, that's still doable. You think about anybody, it might be yourself or somebody else who's broken a bone. And there they are with a pot on, and that's been instantaneous overnight. And then they adjust. It might take a few days, a week, but they adjust to using the crutches or to doing things differently, cutting up meals, whatever it is, with that pot on. And that pot's only on generally for about 6-8 weeks or whatever it is. And by the time that pot comes off, even that feels different again. So we do adapt to things very, very quickly. What stops us, again, is that kind of mindset and us telling ourselves that we can't do it. So if we can adapt to having a pot on when we've got a broken bone, because it's a necessity, because it's something that we absolutely need and that we want to be able to help to make that broken bone better, we can do some of these other changes and some of these adaptations in our lives and very quickly get used to them. Think about it. So it's even the ones that come really quickly, we can get used to. And the other things, that if you're thinking about changing of season, it's a good time now, a really good time now to think about change. To think about what could you tweak, what could you adjust. In the same way that you adjust your wardrobe or anything else. Think about that change and think about the other things that you might want to put in little changes. This is a really good time to do it because it's a natural time of change. Okay. So just to recap, you think you can't do change. When you are telling yourself, you're reinforcing it every time. You're saying, I can't do this. And so if you say you can't do this, then you won't do it. So change that language to actually, I can do this. It may be difficult, but I can. All right. Notice the things that you do, the little things that you do. Changing your socks, changing your clothes, changing your wardrobe. Going with the seasons. So notice the little things that you do where you do change. And then, if there are things that you want to change, just pick them out and see what you can do that's little and often. Okay. Right. I really hope that's helpful for you and given you a little bit of food for thought. I'd like you, if you want to come back to see more of my Facebook Lives, go into your notifications on Facebook and tell it that you want the notifications for my Facebook Live, and then they'll come up and tell you when I'm going to be live and when I'm going to get them. I am beginning to plan out a schedule for when I'm doing these, but at the minute I'm still adjusting with things that are already in my diary. But hopefully they're going to be on kind of Tuesdays, Fridays. But go and get that notification. Just tick the box for notifications to get the Facebook Live in at the top of the Facebook page. And I'll also be putting this through onto my blog when I sort out the technology. There's something where I'm doing change. So go and look on my website at www.emmalangton.co.uk, and you can see more blogs, more little snippets of information that are hopefully helpful for you, and you'll see some more of the videos as well where I'm talking to you about change or any other things that I do. So that's all for now. It's been really lovely to have you here. So I'll say goodbye for now, and thanks for watching if you've come back and watched it on the replay, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.